Conquering Mount Scrapmore with Brenda. I'm Brenda, and we are here with another episode of Mini Monday. And this is a whirlwind variation, and it's just so lovely. Now, there's lots of blocks that are called whirlwind, right? But we've done other ones that don't look like this. This is what confuses beginners, because some of the blocks are very different, but they're all named the same name. So yeah, even us guys have been doing it a while get confused. So yes, this one is called whirlwind, but it is also a variation of different whirlwind patterns. So it's okay, we'll be fine. So let's do our shout out now that we've confused everybody. Amanda Castor from Material Girl Quilts and Emily from Terribly Rad. I have been enjoying both of those channels for a very long time, and you guys have got to go check them out. They are both very talented, both having a lot of fun on their channel. So if you like what you see over there, please go hit their like button and the subscribe, and tell them that Brenda from Conquering Mount Scrapmore sent you. Now, you've got to get into the show notes to get their YouTube channel, and also the cutting instructions for Whirlwind, right? This one is a very simple, fast, cute block, and it creates lots of fun secondary patterns when you start laying them all out. First thing we're going to talk about is making comments, share, like, subscribe, hit the bell, do the thumbs up, and hit the hype button for us, because that helps move our video forward and it helps our analytics. Plus, we love hearing from you. So, I mean, it's wonderful that all the lovely comments we get every week. It's just great. And it helps our analytics and helps push us forward so we can introduce ourselves to other quilters on YouTube. Now, we also have a Facebook group, that's also in the show notes, and we have free fabric exchanges by country. We do lots and lots of community chats. We do a virtual sewing room that's hosted by Discord for the Facebook members. And the admins have said, please agree to the rules and answer all the questions. Yes, we're trying to keep the scammers out and the people that we don't want in the group. So yeah, there's a lot of elements there that we try and sift through and keep those guys out, where we want the quilters and the fun people. So that's something very important for you guys to do. Also, I speak for free to quilting guilds and quilting groups, and if you want to get a hold of me for speaking engagement, you can find my email address under the About tab, or you can message me through the Facebook group. It's a very quick, easy little thing to do, and I do my best to accommodate people. I really do, because the guilds lots of times they have a hard time finding people to speak, right? So it's like, okay, we'll do this for you guys. This is my community service and way of giving back to the quilting community. Also, if you guys have shout outs for quilting channels, and I'm not talking crafting channel, I'm talking quilting channels, please let me know, and either send me their link by the email that you'll find in the About tab, or message me through the Facebook group. But don't tell them you put their name forward for a shout out for me, because we're trying to sneak around and do something nice for people. Our next big mystery sew along is Twinkle Twinkle. It starts February 25th. And the only clue you're getting is sort your strings by color family. Make sure they're ready to sew, like press them and whatnot, make sure they're all ready to sew together, so that's going to help you speed through steps 1, 2, and 3, right? So I'm just now starting to sew it. We're filming this the end of November, so this is one of the clues that we're giving. This is the only one we're giving out so far. Let's see, and the Zoom sew dates are the first Saturday of every month from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, because I'm in Alberta, Canada. I think I've covered everything I need to cover here. Yes, I have. So come on in, let's get to the sewing of Whirlwind. Okay, we're at the sewing machine with Whirlwind. And one of the things, these are quarter square triangles, but when you use the quarter square triangle assembly method, you have one that's assembled this way and the other one is assembled that way, right? Which is not going to give you this effect. So this is why I'm choosing to do it this way. Also, it depends on the size of your pieces, your fabric, right? Because I was able to cut a square out of all of my fabrics, and 2 squares out of the darker or the paler pink, and I was able to cut it so everything's on straight grain. But I don't think I could do, like, the quarter square triangle method, because I would need twice as much then, because you want these 4, and then you would have another set of 4, right? So it's kind of a, what do we want to do? So what we're going to do, first off, is line this up, and we're just picking this up and sewing it together. This is these are such pretty blocks. They really are. They just, such lovely, little blocks, and you get all sorts of fun colors going. And this, you do have some secondary patterns that come out of this block, which are really nice as well. And it is a very beginner-friendly block to work on, and it gives you more experience with your half square triangles, right? So that's also really a big bonus. So let's get that. You're taking your time to line all this stuff up, so you get a nice, precise little block. Okay, and 1, 2, 3, the 4th one's there. Now I'm going to take these and I'm going to open them up, and I am pressing to the dark pink, right? I'm just going to lay them out just like that. And you want to press them to the dark pink. I'm not going to worry about dog ears or any of this nonsense just yet. Maybe if you want to trim them off, you can, but yeah, I probably should trim them off. Hang on, let me trim. Yeah, I know. I succumb to peer pressure. Get rid of the dog ears. I know. And I trim a little bit deep on the dog ear, not at a 40 or 45 degree or 90 degree. I go a little deeper in, just so I can reduce the bulk. Right, and I might as well get that one off too. I'll finish sewing it first. That would be good. And trim it off, press to the dark, or the dark pink. Now the mini Mondays are all pinks and grays. I thought, ooh, won't that be fun? So now we're going to line this up. We're going to line these up. And we want to sew these all with the 2 pieces on top, right? Not on the bottom. The 2 pieces on top. Because you want to make sure that that seam stays flipped to the dark, right? That's the big prize here, is to make sure that's staying flipped to the dark. There we go. And again, these units are such fun to play with. I made a whole quilt out of this, and I wanted a certain aesthetic, and of course when you make it the quarter square triangle method, you have half going one way and the other half going a different way. Well, I didn't like that, so I made 2 quilts, and when you put the 2 quilts together, all of them were going one direction, and the other one was they were going the opposite direction. So it was nice to be able to do that for a charity. I mean, there we go. There. Now, trim all of this, and yes, we're trimming the dog ears. Yes, we'll do that trimming. Now, I take them and I cut a little deep, right, just so I know I've got them. Just a little deeper than 90, like that. So that when they open up that very tip, like you see what I'm cutting, right? Like I'm cutting it like that kind of deep. Just because you can reduce bulk, and it makes the corners lie a little bit flatter, when you're reducing bulk, because there's not as much fabric to push out of the way. There we go. And like so. And all of that goes to the pet bed. The pet bed size. So let's get back, and we're going to press to the path of least resistance, which is pressed to the pale pink. And we're going to go like, let's see, I probably should go like this, flip them over all the same direction. There we go. There. Oh, look what we did. We put this together wrong. Oh no. So we're putting it together. No, we're not doing that. We're doing this, and this, and this, and this. Wait a minute, this. There we go. That's the block we're making. The block I laid out to is a totally different block. And I can't remember exactly what it's called, but this is why beginners get upset with us old quilters. Because we start flipping and flopping blocks around, and they're like, what have you done? What I want to do, what gives us the whirlwind effect, is this pinwheel effect that we get with these pieces here. And these pieces are a different pinwheel effect. So it depends on where you put your... This quilt relies on dark, medium, and light, right? Or this block right here. And of course, depending on where you lay your dark, medium, light, depending on which pinwheel you'll see. Like most people see this dark pinwheel first, and they see this second, right? So that's why. Okay, anyways, let's get back to putting this together. So we just make, it's a 4-patch assembly, which is so nice. You know, it's nice to have just a little 4-patch assembly. And this end, the center will nest in on itself. So there we go. And we're just going to nest, because this is where the center is, and this is the outer edge. So I'm going to make sure that it gets nice tight nest. Yay, perfect. Perfection. There. Okay, move that out of the way. There. And we'll get this. Now, see what happened. Right? So now we've got just that one seam. And we're going to line out the other end. There. Everything's going to nest in that middle. So what we want to do is decide now where everything's going to go. And I think it's going to go best this way. Okay, so we're going to nest it this way, just like that. There. And then, oops, there we go, look at that. Perfect, and there. Now, okay, I'm going to show you something. Here, right away. Ugh. When you flip this out, this is what it's going to look like. Now, the reason I went with this one going this way and this one going that way is because of these seams here already spinning. So I want everything to spin that direction. And what's going to happen is it's going to create a flatter center. Now, let me just, I've got like 2 stubborn stitches here that will not pop. So I'm just going to take my little stitch ripper. Do not pop down too far. Like you want to leave at least 1 stitch there. Now we're just going to press this out with my fingernail. There. So how we did this. The first thing, we press to the dark. That's our first. Then we press to the path of least resistance. That's pushing this into the medium. Then we sewed into a 4-patch, and then we swirled it so all of these seams and these seams all go in the same direction, right? Very simple little construction, and you pop that center open and you've redistributed the fabric so nicely that everything is lying flat. So let me give this a big perfect little press, and we'll get to our big ta-da moment for whirlwind variation. Okay, here is our whirlwind variation, and you could play around with this so much with your dark, medium, and lights and just have a blast with this. This block does create some very interesting secondary patterns as well. So, you know, if you're giving it a try, you know, if you want to do quite a few blocks of this, this would work out really well. Like I say, the dark, medium, and light play, right? They all work. You have enough contrast to see what's going on. And you saw how quickly you can change this block too into something else. So that's also a lot of fun to have one of those blocks in your arsenal of scrap busters. So I do hope you give this one a try. It's been lots of fun to come up with these for you. And I hope everything is going great for you in your life and in your sewing room. Your 1/4 inch is perfect. So you take care and you stay well until we see each other again. Okay, bye! My husband and I would like to thank you for all of your support and watching our videos and sharing and liking. It has just been, you've put us on such an amazing journey and we are having so much fun. I hope everything is going so well in your life and you know your 1/4 inch is perfect. Everything is working out for you. And we're just so happy to be part of your life and you having, like I say, you're watching us. I was just so thrilled that you're doing that. So I want to say goodbye and I want to thank you with all my heart. Okay? Take care. Bye.